All right, let's see. Hello, everyone. It looks like we already got a few people in here. Uh-oh. All right, Lefty's already chatting. Let's let that number. Lefty's already chatting.
I can't hear you for some reason. Guys, can you hear me out there?
Hi.
Hi, I can hear her. EJ, can you hear Scotty?
I don't think I can hear Scotty, but I can hear Scott.
Okay, there we go. I was nervous. I was like, what's going on? I can't hear him anymore.
I couldn't tell you what's going on with Scotty. I'm Russian, so if you hear kids in the background, they're that just means their quality of life is going to go down if they don't shut up.
If you hear dogs in the background, that means the Queen Liz finally got here and the dogs will be going crazy. So
Okay.
no, I can't hear you now, Scotty.
Still can't hear you, Scotty. This is going to be confusing.
Just remember, Scotty's the good-looking one.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll work with that. Hold on. I'm going to mess with some of the lighting a bit. Try to actually.
That's right, Lefty. Scotty, you are muted.
Nope, that's not going to work. I think that'll work. Or I like to play around with lighting. It's a thing. I buy a lot of cheap lights, and so I have a lot of lights like all around me. And
LED lights.
LED shop lights.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Scotty.
Hey, we can hear you now.
Yes.
How bad is it? Because I'm not using this.
It's
you sound loud and clear to me.
All right, whatever. I hate technology. I freaking hate it.
I love technology. I just have to figure it out.
And now you know why I stopped live streaming 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it was
I
perfectly
thought
fine backstage. It was working perfectly fine.
It was.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna say a few quick hellos. Hello, Robert. Hello, Lefty. I just happened to refresh YouTube right as the 1 minute. Okay, there we go. And hello, D's Aquatics. Hello, Patty. And there's Skipper coming in all fashionably late, of course. There's Skipper.
Thank God I'm not the only one.
We go.
Yeah, you were early.
I wasn't early. I was barely on time. I don't know.
So we have a very, very, very special guest. It is such an honor to have Scott from King and Queen Cichlids, and I'll tell you, a real treat will be if his beautiful bride shows up. Now that will be amazing. That would be amazing.
We want Liz. We want Liz.
Yeah, we'll take Liz over you, man. I'm kidding.
That's totally fine.
Scott might have some knowledge, but Liz has the looks and the knowledge.
Actually, Liz has more knowledge than I do, quite honestly, especially with scientific things. You'll be impressed. What's up, Skipper?
What's up, Scott? I'm glad you're here. I don't know what they're talking about.
I appreciate you, brother. I wasn't feeling love there for a minute.
I got you.
Yeah, we'll let the number build up a little bit, but I just want to definitely start by saying it is such an honor to have you here, Scott. Scott has been we go way back. He's been nothing but an influence to me. I spent numerous hours at my part-time job, formerly my full-time job, watching videos while working.
Shame on you. Does your former employer know about this?
Yes, he freaking does.
Probably why it's former employer.
Former.
Tomorrow, thank you very much. But just watching videos really took me from having that 1 or 2 tanks, not knowing what I'm doing, to having a living room of fish tanks instead of a couch. Minor details.
Who needs a couch when you got fish tanks? I mean,
exactly. And not only just personally for myself in the hobby, but got me interested in looking at YouTube. We were talking about that before we came live. And then the clubs, which of course is the focus of this Saturday stream every week.
Mm-hmm.
Watching videos, learning about the development of clubs, and starting with the CCY and the Aquarium Club of Lancaster County, and watching these videos, and then sitting with him at club meetings. Absolutely amazing. And then of course, one of the biggest parts of me, Patty can't hear me. Oh crap.
We can
Oh,
hear you.
well, we
We
can
can
hear you.
hear you.
I think you just need to move closer to the microphone. That's what she's
I
saying.
can't.
She's messing with you.
Okay.
Oh,
whatever.
man. You got a lot to learn.
I actually want to hear Scotty. I should rethink that. Oh, Jesus. But then, going from the clubs and learning from Scott and being there with Scott to the Keystone Clash. Absolutely amazing. And I wasn't sure if this was going to be able to happen because Scott has gotten, so he claims, out of the hobby.
Maybe we can convince him tonight.
Exactly. And
Maybe. Actually, I think no. The secret is to convince his wife.
Yeah.
That EJ, you are on to something. You really are.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
But knowing the history and what he's done for the hobby, for the clubs, for the Keystone Clash, it means so much to have you on here. So I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate that introduction. There's no way I live up to all the hype you just gave me, but I will do my best tonight, guys.
A few more quick hellos. I already said hi to Patty. Alishon. We have Alishon here. He's very excited to see Scott, of course.
Tom.
Jimmy P. There will not be any bloopers in this stream for you to put on your stream for tomorrow.
Oh, dear. He does that? Oh, he does that. He does that?
He does that.
Terrible.
I'll give you some material later, I promise.
We have Annette here, snailing it from the start, of course. Annette, I couldn't figure out how to put your video on here, but we'll get to that later. What else we got here? I think blah, 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 East, lefty. All right, I'm caught up, and we have 13 watching already. I'm sure that number will go up a little bit, but if not, I don't care because we have Scott here, and everybody can enjoy the replay if they need to. So, Scott,
sounded like a robot, Scotty. Sounded like a robot.
What?
Your verbiage is kicking in or something with your mic, but you're okay.
Yeah, you're okay.
All right. So, Scott, you, I guess we'll start from the beginning, way back with the start of the club.
Okay.
So my stream is always about clubs, and so that people can learn about them. Those that are a part of them can share them and about them. I'm a huge promoter of it. And before you even start, your buddy Kenny is here in the chat.
Kenny,
Yay!
I love Kenny.
And we also have Only Oscars and Misfit joining us also.
Awesome.
So,
Jinx.
before the CCY, were you a part of any clubs?
I will tell you that the very first fish club I ever went to was the Aquarium Club of Lancaster County. And it had such an influence on me that it is what propelled me to later on create the Cichlid Club of York. Kurt Johnson was the president there. Joel, as you know, was a strong influence there. You have guys like Tom Galooly, who's on live stream now, and just Rachel Leary was a member there at the time, long before she even got to YouTube. We had such a huge following and membership. On top of it, it was held at that fish place in Lancaster. So you would go to the club, have an amazing meeting with an amazing speaker, have a great auction, and then after that, you would go through the store and just pick up fish and items and stuff. It was an amazing time back then. It really was. We later lost that spot at that fish place, and as you know, they've moved on to other places. But I would say, oh my gosh, I think I started going in 2010, and we started the CCY late 2012. And the only reason really why I started the Cichlid Club of York was because me and my friends were so addicted to large cichlids that we wanted to start our own club just about cichlids. And you would come to the ACLC, obviously, is for all fish.
Yeah.
And you would have guys like me that just want Oscars, we want Jaguar cichlids, we want Wolf Goldeye cichlids. And so we would come in and there would be something on guppies, nothing that there's anything wrong with guppies. And me and my friends would be like, gosh, I wish we had a meeting there every time. It would be about these cichlids, these fish. And that's kind of what got us. And when I say us, I'm talking about my friend Aaron. I'm talking about Lonnie, who you know very well, who was a huge influence on me as well. And we got together at some point, just decided we felt like there was enough people, like-minded people like us, that we could start our own club in York, which is where we're all from. And that's kind of where it took place. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I also want to point out that we have a very, very, very special person here in the chat.
Oh my God. Greg Steves. That is my buddy. In fact, I just bought a $500 camera lens just so I can take better pictures of birds, because I'm not going to say we're in competition, because I'm in competition with him. I'm trying to get better and take photos as good as he does with birds. And so I always think it's not me. I got to get better equipment. So I ended up buying, thank God Liz isn't here, a $500 lens that has telescopic range where I can be further away but still get good pictures of the birds.
The real question, Scott, the real question is how much you going to pay us not to tell Liz.
I'll buy you all the snails or whatever you want. I'll just
So
give you
for
my
those that
PayPal
don't
account.
know, Birding with Greg Steves is going to be one of our speakers at the Keystone Clash this year. An amazing man. Absolutely amazing.
And he is one of the main components that cares, which is, I'm sure he'll probably talk about that a little bit.
Of course.
And, that's a program that I was a part of that I wish I had done more. But I was also part of the American Cichlid Association, so there was only so much time to do so much. But between him, Claudia, Leslie Dix, Joel's a part of the CARES team. It's just an amazing program that tries to save these endangered fish and put them in hands of guys like you on the panel and people that are watching us to, take care of these fish. I just sent Liz the link.
Ooh, buddy, come on. We could have made some money here. More fish.
I love his wife. His wife doesn't have to say anything. If she starts laughing, I just start cracking up. I can't. It makes me crack up. I love her laugh.
Exactly. So
can I say this real quick?
Please.
For those of you who are first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Please subscribe to Scotty. Great guy. One of the reasons why I was able to walk away from fish a little bit is people like Scotty that I knew would take what I had started or what we as a team had started and keep progressing. I mean, I just talked to him behind the scenes, and you've already got over 100 registries, and things are looking great. And
thank you.
In my time coming up, getting enough people registered to cover the cost of everything was the most stressful part of it. And if you've already got that done, that speaks volumes about what you're doing, what your team's doing, and I can't applaud you enough for that. So
thank you. It's all about raising money for the clubs. That's all I care about is raising money for the clubs. It's you put a lot of blood and sweat and your own money into starting the CCY, and the least I could do is to help raise money for the CCY. And we're all in it together to for one common cause. So I appreciate it, Scott. I really do.
Well,
Hey,
I appreciate
it looks like only Oscars is plenty at Takeover.
Let me just say this. I appreciate you, Scott. Because yeah, I brainstormed it and we created it many years ago, but to see it this strong and still growing year after year after year, it warms my heart, because I never imagined when I started this that we would have the event that we have, and that has nothing to do with me at this point. You guys have taken it and just blown up with it, and that's Joel. That's everyone. That's
the team effort. It's a team effort. If we didn't have Skipper there to hang the airlines last year, we wouldn't have had a show. You know.
Yeah, he's out there in the rain moving tanks out of Mike's stores area over there. It's people like that.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
another thing we tried to do, we promoted the heck out of that thing since January on YouTube.
Yep.
And Scott, most of I told you that there's 100 some attendees already and vendors, and how all the fish show was sponsored. I'm gonna say about 75% of the fish show class sponsors are members of the Fish Fam.
That's
Half
incredible.
of which is probably
Lefty.
this guy right here.
Right.
And a lot of the vendors are members of the Fish Fam also, and it's amazing the support. It's absolutely amazing. But
I was so impressed when I was there judging last year, the amount of Fish Fam and YouTube presence you guys had. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean,
and
you
I
guys
feel like
came out
I didn't know
droves.
any of them. And now they're like my family, you know?
Right.
They are my family.
Right.
I can't go a day without talking to one of these people, you
Right.
know?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's kind of a curse, I guess.
I think Skipper's tired of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
So, so Scott, what you started the CCY in 2012.
That's
Tell
correct.
us about the starting of it. What was it like? How did you do it? I mean, it's magic.
We started it in 2012. Number one, early on, I was very good with social media. I knew where to go, how to promote it on Facebook. Instagram really wasn't a thing, but I knew if I took it to Facebook and reached out to people in our area and reached out to existing people from the Lancaster Club and Bucks County and et cetera, and then strategically planned the meetings where they weren't overlapping on other clubs, so those people at different clubs could make the journey to our clubhouse and enjoy it as well. It was, and I have to say this, Lonnie was a huge influence because he had a lot of people that he knew from Jersey all the way to Maryland. So, you get him involved and he reaches out to people, and it just came together. But it was a lot of work. I just happened to have the personality where I was always out there promoting it and running contests and doing various things to promote it. I have to also talk about the cichlid. Oh my gosh, I can't think of them in Maryland now. The CCA, Capital Cichlid Association, was another huge influence. Rachel was big there, Matt Quinn, and all these guys. It's amazing. You talk about fish people, how amazing they are. All these people reached out, helped me, got me speakers. I mean, at the time, I wasn't charging anything for our members because at that point, I didn't know would this really become a club.
Right.
So the first year, I didn't charge everything. I just paid everything on my own. There's people like Tom Galuli that would bring fish that he would just give, and he would auction them off. And that money would go directly back to me so I could pay for the rent of the clubhouse, the food, the cost of the speakers. And I have to talk about the speakers. That particular year, most of them only charged me gas money.
Oh, wow.
If they charged me anything at all. Now, of course, gas money is crazy now, but back then, I had Mo Devlin, a huge name, Mo Devlin, drive 2 hours to our clubhouse, and he really didn't charge me anything but, hey, just give me a little bit of gas money, and that was it. Kevin Carr from North Jersey, drove all the way, and all he wanted was to have dinner with me afterwards. I mean, there were a lot
That was
of
nice.
yeah, this is a lot of generous people. Discus Hans charged me nothing at all and brought probably 50 to 60 discus that he auctioned off with all the proceeds going back into the club.
Right.
Our first birthday year. There were so many, and I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but there are so many key people that I kind of feel guilty when people say, hey, congratulations on creating CCY, because it really wasn't me. I was part of it. But there were so many other people that came in that made the CC what it is today. It really was. I mean,
and now you have people. You know, last weekend I believe it was, they had the swap and their 10-year anniversary, and Lefty here, he drove. What was that drive, Skipper? 4 hours that he did, I think, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I believe so.
From what? He's in Connecticut, right?
Yep, Connecticut.
Drove from Connecticut to come to the CCY meeting last weekend because it's one of his closest clubs, really.
Right.
And you know, he learned from talking with Blake and people at the Clash, and he joined. 5 hours, there it is. And also, you mentioned Discus Hans. There's a good chance he's going to be at the Clash this year with Super Cichlids, because he moved there, which is amazing.
Yeah. So,
ODD, welcome. So you started it up, and tell us how. Fast forward through the years.
Year 1 and year 2, we did it at my clubhouse. I lived in a development that had a really nice clubhouse. In the clubhouse, and Tom Galuli will remember this, had large, comfortable couches in it, and it was just the perfect area for 30 to 40 people to come together. Had a big screen TV, so we could just put it right to the computer. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect at the time, but then we started getting so big, we outgrew the place. But
Wow.
I mean, it was incredible the amount of people that came and wanted to be a part of it and helped us move along. Rachel O'Leary, year 1, I think our 4th or 5th meeting, she invited the entire CCY to her house. We had a barbecue. She bought a pig, an entire pig, cooked it on the grill, and we just chilled at her house, and she showed us her fish room, and it was incredible experience. So, you know, you have to kind of have the personality that you reach out to people and people want to work with you. And I just happen to have that trait. But there's so many people. I can sit here, Dwayne Walker, Liz Walker. We would not be where we are without Dwayne Walker and Liz Walker, who took over for me when I said, I need a break. I need to step down. There are a couple other things I want to do. Mm-hmm. And those guys, and they need the credit for this, took that club and kept on building it. And now you have Blake and Tara, who are doing a fantastic job. You have Lonnie back in the club, who's really the forefather of the club, to give us that history. Now, if you look at it, I'm talking too much, just stop me if you need him to. But if you look at some of these clubs out there, North Jersey Aquarium Society, you know, you have Dr. Ted Coletti, you have Paul Lizelle, you have Rosario. You have so many people who have done huge things in the hobby. Not YouTube related, but this is my conflict with YouTube, because they're really experienced people out there that have really done some great things in the hobby, who are not known as well as, let's just take, for instance, Corey from Aquarium Co-op, or Lisa and John, who I love to death, from KG Tropicals. People will know them more than they will Paul Lizelle or Rosario. And these people were the forefathers of the fish community and getting us the information we needed to know to keep fish. So I can go on, but I'm so excited to see Lonnie back in the club, because we need experienced people like that in our club. We need that history. We need that. Yeah. Let me tell you a story. It was probably our 2nd or 3rd meeting at the CCY. I saw this incredible fish, and I couldn't tell you what the hell it was. It looked like a mix between a Jack Dempsey and some alien fish. Never seen it before. I wanted it. Ronnie went in that bucket, picked it up, pulled it up in the air, and he was like, boom, Oreochromis tanganicus. I was like, how do you know that? And it's people like that with experience that you need to have in the club. So when newcomers come, that information is being pushed, is being taught to other people coming in. And then just like yourself, you picked up the pieces where I've gone, and now you're running stuff. And now Blake's running stuff. And you just have to keep passing down and keep giving that enthusiasm and because fish is great. I mean, I know I'm out of the hobby, but keeping fish is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
I just need to take a little break, I
won't there we go. He just said it. Time out. A little break.
Hold on. What we really need is a commitment to a timeline.
Well, I think I hear Liz. No, she'll be here shortly. But seriously, I'm the type of person, I take too much at one time. I was trying to run the club. I was trying to do the AC, the American Cichlid Association. At the time, I was doing, fish shows in Chicago. I was doing fish shows in Jerseys. I was working with ours. And you just get burned out. And then I was trying to do a YouTube channel. It just got and then you got 50 hours of work.
I saw your YouTube channel. You guys were pretty popular for a little while there.
Yeah, we were probably right after Rachel Leary, one of the bigger YouTube channels in our area. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think a little bit on the area.
Yeah, I mean, we hit 10,000 subscribers last week or week before that, and I hadn't put a video out in months. And it's
right.
I got 191 subscribers in the last 28 days. I don't know how, but it just shows you how crazy YouTube is. I never could figure out how YouTube worked,
The YouTube gods.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the great videos that you guys put out, and the way that you title them.
And I still go back to your videos. Like if I have a question, I'll go search on your channel and watch a video. I may have seen it before in the past, but I'm going to watch it again just to refresh on it to help do something on my fish rack here.
Right. And I appreciate that, especially from you, Skipper. I appreciate that. I got myself kind of stereotyped where, there's only so much you could do about large American cichlids, and after 3 years of doing it, it got harder and harder and harder to come up with concepts, and to the point where now I'm doing stuff on tetras and other fish that I don't have that much experience at, that other people are much better doing it than I am. And I don't, and you get into this, and you guys probably know this better than I, as well as I do. You want to get subscribers, you want to grow, so you start looking for what can I do that's going to keep my channel growing. And when I started getting out of my realm and doing other stuff just because I ran out of entertainment or ideas, that's when you got to say, well, let me pull it back and get back to what I know and what I love, because I actually had some bad experiences losing fish because I just jumped on something trying to do more on YouTube when I really should have taken that time to study the fish and take care of them properly. Because in the end, as aquariums, we got to make sure we take care of the fish first. And I'm sorry I'm talking so much.
Why are you apologizing, dude? That's why you're here.
It's been like a year since I did a live stream, so all this it's been up in me. So,
you got to get it out. We're your therapists. It's okay.
Yeah. So you guys know how the Clash actually got started.
Hold on, we're not there yet. That's one of my questions coming up. You told me to have questions ready for you.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Hold on. We're getting there.
I hate to do this. I really do hate to do this. I wish I could.
Skipper's got to go run an auction.
I got to go get ready for the second Fish Fam auction. It's a lot of work.
Before you go, Skipper, put the link in the chat, please.
I can do it again. Hopefully Lefty grabbed it.
Yeah.
The other
one. Thank you for all you do, brother. Love the live auction idea. Thank you. It's awesome.
Well, it wasn't just me. It started out with Vinay, me, Jason, Depths Unknown, and Fishing Moon. We came on board with it, and we're trying to make it something. We'll see what happens.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Anything I can do to help, let me know.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Skipper.
See you guys later.
So,
that's a good dude right there.
When did you move from the clubhouse to the spring room?
It was year 3. It was year 3, and it was because the Discus Hans thing was so big that we had people standing outside that couldn't get inside. So we were like, we need to find another place. And I think the clubhouse, I was paying more for the clubhouse than the place in Spring Grove. Thanks to another guy who I didn't mention, Wayne, who found us that clubhouse in Spring Grove for an incredible price. Thank you, Wayne, if you're out there. And it was so much cheaper, so much more space. And I didn't have to, I would have to go to the clubhouse, set everything up. Didn't have to do that anymore. There was Wayne, there was a team doing all that stuff now. So all I had to do was bring a computer, plug it up, introduce everyone.
Nice.
The main thing for me to do as a president was I wanted to bring people in, meet them, introduce them to other people, explain to them how everything worked. And, hey, you like Tetris? Well, this guy over here likes Tetris. Or you like Oscars? Let me introduce you to this person. For me, that was the most important job as president, was to keep the enthusiasm up, get like people together, and make sure everyone's having the best damn time that they can, because then they're going to come back and then you're going to invest into the club like you did and other people have. Sorry. So, year 3, I think we got to Spring Grove. I wish Liz was here. She might tell me it was year 2. Our first, it was year 2, because our first clash, I know we're going to get there, was in 2014.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. So.
And how long were you president?
I was president from 2013, 14, and 15. And of course, the club kind of started in 11 because I put a website up and was, trying to figure out, is this really something we can do?
Yeah.
So 3.5 years. Yeah. So something like that.
I feel like the exact opposite, because here you are, and I understand completely why you burned out, and I'm doing my level best to just simply avoid as much responsibility as possible. So we have quite the quandary here.
That's perfect.
Getting the club up and running was a lot on me, but I questioned myself when Dwayne and Liz took over, because it was a free-for-all. I got to be honest with you. There were no rules. We're having a good time. It was like a really great party that you didn't want to stop. But at some point, someone's got to start paying for stuff. It can't keep coming out of my pocket. And there's got to be rules and regulations. And all that stuff didn't take place until Dwayne and Liz took over. And that's when the rules start getting made. Auctions, we're going to take this amount of money from the auctions to go back into the club. We're going to start a membership. Your membership's going to be X, Y, and Z. It was a free ride. I kind of want to say it was easier for me because, I'm one of those guys that can get a party going. It's going to be a great time. But when it gets down to, we got to start paying for stuff, I was never that. I was always like, I can handle it right now until, and like I said, there was money coming back. People were donating stuff. So it wasn't like I was hurting too bad.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfectly reasonable. Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to charge some small dues, because people are getting a lot out of it. And it's not like, and it just simply goes back into what people are already wanting to be a part of, and they get their money's worth.
Oh, not only that, but we had, and Scott can attest to this, and no clubs out there was doing this. And again, shout out to Tom Gluley. We were putting on the best buffet of food anywhere that any club ever did. That was, we had hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza. We fed our members and our guests free just to come.
They still do.
Oh man,
you
offer free food, I will show up.
Exactly my point, because at the time we were trying to grow the club, and in my mind, what do you want to do? What will people come? They'll come for free food. They'll come for the fish auction. They're not going to come as much for a speaker, believe it or not, because I would have people say, well, when's the speaker going to be done? Because I want to come for the auction. I'd be like, sit down, enjoy yourself, listen to the speaker. You're going to get a better experience, and you're going to be a better hobbyist if you listen to the speaker. But there were those people that just wanted to eat and have an auction and move on. But it's
different people get different things out of every meeting. There's different. Some people just like the speaker. Some people just like the auction. Short, fat man right here loves the food and everything else. But exactly. That's what
And
it's all about.
that goes back to looking at, hey, my baby.
Oh boy. Here
All
he
right.
comes. Oh, hello, Liz.
Open the door because
Which
they're
way
gonna
is
go nuts.
Okay.
You're right there.
Okay, Scott, you're too much in the picture here. You got to move over.
She's mean.
No, I'm
So anyway,
not.
you go back to the
Okay,
Lancaster
maybe a
Club,
little.
and as we're building our club, we're thinking we want to do what the Lancaster Club did, but we want to turn the volume up. So Lancaster Club, you'd have a bag of chips if you were lucky, and cookies.
Yeah.
Now that's changed, I'm sure, but we were like, no, we're going to give you a whole. Remember all the
We're
food?
gonna feed you. Yep.
Remember all the food we would have
Yep.
up there? It was crazy.
Absolutely. It was a meal.
It was a meal.
Now, Sir Scott, I gotta stop you. Hi,
Okay.
Liz. Thank you for joining. It is such an honor. You missed the first half hour because you're a hard-working woman.
Well, I tried to watch it, but I couldn't connect.
Really?
Yeah.
I had.
Oh, you missed so much.
So of course, Liz shows up. We got to do a couple highlights here. Kenny is here and says hello. And Carrie, Science Gal Aquatic.
Hey, Carrie. No one said. Well, everybody says hi when you come in.
Because I'm important.
See, exactly. Liz, after the stream, you have to watch the replay to see if everything that Scott said was accurate.
No, don't watch the live stream, honey. It's okay. You don't need to watch that. It's all. And EJ thinks if you get back in the fish, I'll get back in the fish. I was like, maybe.
You never know.
I don't have time that they would need. That's the problem. I just don't have the time to give them to keep them healthy and happy.
Someday
You have
you
to
will.
keep this one healthy and happy.
Really?
So, what is your favorite type of fish, Liz?
Me? I've always been a sucker for the Madagascar pollini.
I thought you were a nano.
I love nano, but if you're going to say my favorite, it's always been that Madagascar.
So true story. She had a perfect Madagascar pollini. Kenny, tell me if I'm wrong. What's up, John? It's good to see you.
Oh,
Where's
the
the
puppy's
glass?
dying. Oh, I should have some wine.
Yeah.
Where's my glass?
I don't know.
Scott, you dropped the ball.
But she had a perfect bleaker eye, I think is the correct name for it. And she took it to the New England Cichlid Association.
Yep.
They had a show, and it won Best of Show?
Yeah, I think so.
Best of Show. She won like $100. One day, a month later, or whatever, one day I was trying to put fish together, and I decided that this one fish could go with her fish. I think it was a 4-star general or something like that.
Oh, the 5-star general.
5-star
It was
general.
his common name. I can't remember his.
It's the same as the Jewel Cichlid.
But more aggressive.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Someone out
I
there
can't
help me.
think of it.
Long story short, I watched them for like 2 hours and nothing. Look, Greg's there.
Hi, Greg.
Nothing happened, and I went away. And the next morning, that bleaker eye was basically shredded. So
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry
Yeah,
to hear that.
I was on timeout for quite a long time.
Yeah, I guess that's the downside of having being part of the fish, like fish keeping the fish hobby together as a couple. Because if you accidentally kill her fish, you're done for, man. You're done.
You don't even know the half of it. We were enemies. We were absolute.
We were enemies.
We were enemies when it came to competition.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's what you mean. Yes, we always liked the same thing, and we were competitive. We weren't enemies.
You were my
very-
enemy at that time.
Oh, that because
But
I would put my hand down. If I
When she means
wanted
auction.
it, yep.
I didn't know how that sounded to them.
now,
We would fight for the same fish in the auctions,
We fought to compete.
and in competitions, she and I would have the same general fish in the same
Yeah.
classes.
And I always won.
That's so funny.
now,
It was
correct me if
probably-
I'm wrong.
9
Though.
times out of 10.
No, you did not 9 times out of 2. You need to count the trophies in here.
You threw away mine. You did too.
Oh my gosh.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but you guys met through the club, right?
That's the right. That's
Aw.
the dirty secret.
That's romantic.
Yes. At the time, we were both with someone else, but after those relationships
Yes.
deteriorated, we
Look where look where you are now.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong one. Hold on. There we go. So,
Thank
won
you.
Best in
That
the
was
Show.
before we met. Yep. Oh, see, this is the one trophy he kept.
Thank you, Tom. This happened to be up here. You're right. North Jersey Aquarium Society 2013.
There you go.
I won Best of Show. I don't know why this stays so polished and shiny. Jeez.
Oh.
You know, when I was in high school, I went to high school with this like he was a friend, and all he could talk about was how the entire 4 years of high school, all he could talk about was how great grade 8 was. And you know, he didn't really care anything about, like, you know, what we were experiencing then. All he could talk about was how grade 8, yeah, it was. And you know, and that was it. I'm not putting any parallels here, Scott. I mean, I would never do that.
That was only 8 years ago, 9 years
I've
ago.
had awards recently too that I've won. You know, no big deal. But
Maybe you should go for more awards.
now I'm out.
For now.
Yes.
For now.
I don't even know where you would put a tank. You've taken it over with your newest hobby.
You guys are gonna move eventually.
Yes.
I know.
Well, I mean, nanotanks don't take up a lot of space.
No, they don't. And I still have some of my nano tanks.
I couldn't.
Oh,
imagine that.
what are you keeping there?
Nothing, but I have them.
Spider webs, all sorts of spiders and webs and all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
Okay, now I feel like only Oscars and wanting to do a complete fish tank takeover.
Your planet tank behind you is gorgeous.
Thank you. It's all nanofish.
I love it. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's an established food web ecosystem, so it pretty much self-sustains. I don't even have to clean up the algae.
That's
Love it.
awesome.
Mhm.
I guess. Go ahead, Scotty. I know you got a question.
I have a couple more questions, and then I want to jump into the clash because we only have 18 minutes left.
Gosh, where'd the time go?
Are we on a budget?
Exactly.
Yes.
I knew this would happen too, and I'm okay with it because it's amazing. So I want to ask each of you, what is your favorite memory of the CCY? Not the clash, just the CCY. Favorite memory.
Mm.
And we'll let Liz go first. Ladies first.
Seeing this tall, dark, handsome man. No, I'm just playing.
So for me, it had to have been the original clubhouse. It was very relaxed, very plush. It was so cozy, and there was like a theater system and everything already set in there.
Yeah.
And that's where we first met. That's where I first met Lonnie. I first met Tom, and I first met all these great people in the hobby. So for me, that's my favorite, was meeting everybody for the first time.
She's forgetting one thing. I did tell him about the clubhouse. The other reason why she loved it so much was because wine and alcohol was allowed.
Yep.
Oh.
Plastic bottle of wine and just drinking, and you know, Tom.
I don't understand why
couches.
I don't understand why that's not a normal thing. I mean, come on.
It should be. I'd be there.
It doesn't make any sense not to. I can understand if it's like an event where you go shooting. No, you don't want to mix alcohol with, but you're watching fish tanks and you're enjoying the peace and tranquility. That's perfect for wine.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lefty, could you please post Scott's YouTube camera channel?
So my favorite memory, I'd have to say the third clash we did was amazing.
It was so fun.
And it was so fun. Everybody came speaker-wise for free.
Yep.
It was
wow.
over 100 people, if not more, in there.
We had vendors.
We had vendors. You know, shout out again to Super Cichlids, who've been there since day one. They were just beginning at that point. But oh my God, we had two areas in the clubhouse, one downstairs for talking in a basketball gym, and then the entire floor upstairs with the fish.
The auction was hours.
Yeah, because thanks to you,
There was
because
so
you did
much
such a
things.
job. But I just remember sitting back and just seeing everything and just being really happy with myself that look at this. This is incredible.
It was awesome.
Gavin was there, and he had just gone through some health issues.
Right.
And to have him there and Sheila there, and
Mo was there.
it was just, I mean, Matt Quinn. We had Matt Quinn, Rachel Leary, and
Mo Devlin spoke
as judges, judging the fish.
Wow.
Just to have Rachel Leary judging your fish, or Mo Devlin judging your fish and getting awards from them was spectacular, and Matt Quinn as well. So
this is a perfect segue. I'm glad you said that. Tell us about the start of the clash. How did the clash start?
The first clash?
Yep.
So I have to bring this trophy up again because this really was this is a true story. This was the inspiration. Lonnie, God bless him, and I got in the car one day and said, in the North Jersey Aquarium Society was having their 60th anniversary, and we decided we were going to go down there, and they were having a cichlid show, a fish show, and Lonnie said, you need to bring this fish and this fish, and I did. I always, whenever Lonnie says something, he's got the information, so I brought him.
Of course.
Damn if I didn't win Best of Show, won this trophy, and had the experience of my life, not only meeting a ton of key people that would later help propel the CCY to where it is today, but that experience of bringing your fish, seeing it judged, seeing it compete against other fish, getting up there and accepting the award was such a fresh and cool experience that I said, Lonnie, we got to bring this back to the CCY. And all of you guys looked at me like I was crazy.
Yep.
Because Liz was on the board, Lonnie was on the board, whoever else was on the board, and everyone was like, Scott, we can't do this. This is crazy. I was like, we got to do this because it's going to turn into something big, and look at it now. So, but it turned into something big. As I said, you guys have propelled it much further than I ever thought it would be. But it was that first fish show that I'd ever been to. And the first time I enter a fish, I actually win Best of Show against. These are damn near the best aquarius anywhere. I hate to be like
Jersey.
that, but you're talking about Paul Lizelle, Chuck Davis, Kevin Carr, who would travel miles just to win trophies and compete all the time. And I'm so glad the Keystone Clash is still going, because some of these shows are dying now. You look at the aquatic experience. We hosted 3, 1 in Chicago, 2 in Jersey, and now that's gone. And some of these others, I don't know if PBS is still doing the Potomac Valley, still doing their bowl show. Okay, but they're
that was the Clash of the Cichlids, right?
That was Clash of the Cichlids, and then Joel brought the idea to Dwayne and Liz, who again say were very key instrumental people, and came up with the Keystone Clash. And I kind of had already started the competition between. We did. We had a CCA, ACLC, and the CCY. We kind of started a competition that last year, and we gave a trophy to the club that won Best of Show. And every year that trophy was supposed to be passed around. You guys, Joe came in and came up with some better ideas, got more clubs aligned, and it's grown every year. And again, thanks to him, thanks to everyone that's been on the team. You got to think about Wesley and his wife, they've done. That was a huge change for the Clash when Wesley and Chris got involved. I mean, wow.
So how many years did you run the Clash?
3. The first 3. 4. We ran the first 3, and then 2018, something happened, and we were asked to come please take over, and we did, reluctantly, but we did. And that's pretty much when you stopped. But so 4 years out of, I don't know how many it's been now, but.
And that was 2018. 2019 was my first year. There was no 2020. I ran it in 2021.
I would like to forget 2020, thanks.
All of us.
So this is the Keystone Clash first year was 2018, right? No, 2016.
2016, yes.
2016. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021. This is going to be the 6th Keystone Clash. But what was it, 2014, 15, and 16?
Here's a cool fact for you.
Yes.
Two clashes took place in 2014. So when I won this trophy, that was 2013. So I wouldn't leave these people alone. I was like, we got to do this. So we ended up doing it, our first clash, 2014 in January.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that was not the best time to be doing it because of the cold and the snow, and we're in Pennsylvania, which I didn't think about at the time. And so after the January experience, we decided to do it in September, which is what we do from now on. We've done ever since. So believe it or not, people have trophies, both clashes, that say 2014 on them. So pretty cool fact. There you go, buddy.
So that was 2014. 2015 was also a Clash of the Cichlids.
2014 twice, and then 2015
was Clash of Cichlids.
Correct. And then everything else has been Keystone.
And that was you also.
Yep.
And then 2016, 17, and 18 was Keystone Clash. And that was also you.
18 we did. We didn't do 16 or 17. That was Dwayne Walker and them.
Oh, sorry.
No, that they did an outstanding job. And Joel and Kurt was, he was back there as well.
In 2018, in the beginning, right?
And then Kurt?
Kurt and Joel were in 2018, and then you stepped in and helped?
Kurt and Joel were from 2016, 2017, and then 2018, we were called in to help.
Right.
Yeah.
And then 19 was Wes.
Yes. 18 was Wes too.
Yep.
Wes
has been involved
that
for
was
a while.
Wes was first time was 2018 with 2018 was Wes and his wife.
Yeah, I remember that.
Huge.
And 16 and 17, Dwayne was the chairperson?
Correct. Dwayne, I think Liz Walker actually was, but yes, Dwayne
right,
and Liz.
Liz and Dwayne, yeah.
Yeah.
And
now,
14 and 15, you were the chair.
That's correct.
Got it.
And of course, 2016 and 17, I was announcing speakers for them and stuff like that. But
right.
Yeah. And then 2018 ran it.
What year was your favorite Clash, and what is the biggest, your best memory, your favorite memory of the Clash, no matter what year?
That's easy. For me, that's easy. 2015, which was what catapulted the Keystone Clash. When everyone saw how big 2015 was, that's when everyone said, we got to get together and keep. And at that point, you and I both had stepped down at the end. Mm-hmm. So people needed to come together to keep it going. So that's when Joel and Kurt and Dwayne and Liz and Mike Mull and that great group of people got together. So 2015 for me, for a selfish reason, just to see it explode. And then when I proposed to this young lady in 2017, that will always be a huge memory for me because I proposed in front of everyone at the Keystone Clash 2017.
Aww.
Right?
Aww.
You do realize that means that bond means that you have to get back into fish at some point.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we just figured we'd get married at the next convention.
Hey, in 2023, not only are we going to have the left side where the gun show was, but we're going to have the right side also.
Well,
where the gun show is.
So we could set up a little stage for you for 2023.
Oh, we really could. That would be great. Like, almost like a oh my God, this is really pretty.
That would be awesome.
Liz. Come on,
I
Liz.
honestly hope that we get married this year. That's my hope. But if not, maybe we'll talk about it.
That would be nice. So,
what about you, Liz?
6 minutes left. And at the very end, I do have a couple things in the chat I want to highlight and get your input on. But before we get there, what are your visions, your hopes for the future of the CCY, the Clash, and down the road, way down the road, where do you see yourselves being in the hobby, whether it's watching, being a part of, and it can be 10, 20 years down the road. When you're ready, where do you see all of this being?
You want to tackle that? Or you want me to
Well,
tackle
for
it?
me, I don't foresee keeping fish again.
Not even
Oh.
I don't know, but I would enjoy being part. I would enjoy coming to a couple meetings here and there down the road, or coming to the Clash. I've always had a soft spot for the Clash. I love the Clash.
She was behind the first aquascaping that took place at the Clash, and that
for
was
the kids.
that was
Oh.
near and dear for you.
That was
sure.
very
Yeah.
special.
a lot of pictures of you and give a kid a tank.
Yeah, that's always it's so great to get that next generation started in the hobby.
Yes. Yes.
To CCY, I wanted to keep growing. I want, again, I talk about how lucky I was to have someone like a Dwayne Walker, Liz Walker take over for me. It's people like that we need. People like Scotty, people like Blake and Tara. We just need to make sure we're doing everything we can for people to have the best experience when they go to the club, so that they can keep reinvesting. So our next president, we might meet tomorrow at the club.
Right.
And
Right.
3 years from now, let's hope that he's going to be passing that torch, or, and furthering what we started. Oh my God, back in 2011, 2012. I mean, I can't believe that we're here 10 years later, but it's great. It's an honor. Absolutely, I can't lie, take a lot of pride in it. I feel like I have something, I have a legacy that I started, and I can feel good about. Hey, when it's all said and done, I did something. I actually planted something that has grown. Thank God for so many people that have watered it from this point forward. But I just want to see the club keep growing. Education of keeping fish is important. That's the whole reason why we really started the club. So, in the hard part is, every year you got to struggle. And Glenn does such a great job. I'm sorry to not say his name, but it's so hard to get speakers every year. How do you not get the same speaker? It's so hard to keep coming up with new speakers and keeping people entertained and teaching them. So I just pray for more growth for the CCY, and I'm pretty positive as long as people like Blake and Tara and yourself are behind the scenes, it's going to keep growing. I forgot, as far as me, I will be back in fish. And the reason why I say that is because I went downhill when I decided to let my arowanas go. That was my favorite tank, Scotty. That 7-foot, 300-gallon tank with those two arowanas. I loved that tank. And when I felt the pressure because of people saying that's not big enough, blah, 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 to let go, to rehome those fish, I knew then I just had lost. Like that was, I didn't let on about it, but that really was a bad decision on my part, because those fish were in great condition. They were being taken well care of. And I love, they always say you don't know you love something until it's gone. When those arowanas were gone, I would come to my fish reel and miss them swimming. Right. I know we got to watch time. I'm sorry, Skipper's gone, but yes, I'll be back in fish one day. Absolutely.
Hey, even if it's just taking pictures of them.
Yep. Absolutely. I know I'll be back in fish, especially when we move, because I love those arowanas. I want to get more.
When you move, you'll be able to have a blank slate. You could literally dedicate a whole wall in somewhere in this nice large house for an arowana.
I mean, Scott, you could have a studio for doing photography and a fish room next to it.
You guys saw my fish room. It was pretty immaculate. I had a large area. I mean, it was huge.
All right, so real quick, because we got a minute left.
Sorry.
Do you have any experience with mixing Vihas and small, some big cichlid word? I have some, whatever all that stuff is. Cichlid stuff.
All in one tank?
The pike, Crinocyclus or pikes. We used to have Crinocycla lenticuliata. Beautiful fish. And another heartbreaking fish that I gave away that I should have kept. I would not keep those guys together. In my personal opinion, and again, There's no information as far as what tank size it is or any of those requirements. I mean, it would have to be a huge tank, in my opinion, to keep those guys together. I wouldn't. The viejas are beautiful fish on their own. Enjoy them. Or the pike cichlid. Pick one or the other, but don't be greedy. That would be my advice.
What is the name of your photography channel?
It is called John Scott Anthony Photography.
Lefty, are you still in the chat? You got that?
Yeah, it's got 22 subscribers, so thank you. It's going to be a long road. It took me a while to get to 10,000 subscribers, as you guys know. And, yeah, it might. I'll send you, we'll get the link up. I'll put some a comment or something.
Perfect. And I want to thank you, Scott, Liz, very, very much. EJ, thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate it. We are out of time. Let's go over to Skipper's channel and drop the hashtag King and Queen Cichlids.
I do want to say you've been a great sport, Scott. Thanks for letting me poke at you.
Absolutely. Yeah, check you out. I love your personality. It's all good. Hit that subscribe button for Scott, guys, if you haven't done it already.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful night.